This is a message from Joseph P. Firmage.
My friends in the Democratic Party, I am addressing you for a moment here to just let you understand a little bit more about my financial situation and the remarkable things that have been afoot over the past year to close what I think will be the largest public-private partnership for financing the future of our society and humanity in American history. This started 25 years ago this month when I made the decision to leave employment of Wall Street to reinvent it fundamentally in the fields of economics, econometrics, and every field of basically finance-related disciplines of applied science, applied knowledge. The three principal objectives when I left the CEO-manship of US Web CCAS in 1998, July to be precise, is when I made the decision. And so it's 25 years to the month the Project Renaissance began. I made that decision because I knew that at such a time as we would make the scientific discoveries which we have advanced substantially towards, and in some aspects made profound eternal contributions to the future of humanity and its most sacred core science, physics, propulsion and current generation. That's just about the core of every single thing that moves under power, that wants to move us or that we want to move us, or that powers everything that does, okay? Propulsion and electricity generation move about how do you power everything that moves, and to move everything that powers, that's powered. So that's what we have. Inventions of that scale take decades to perfect. Now, we're about to launch those. And we need, I believe, a president and commander-in-chief in the White House to do so at scale. And that's why this effort has been so coherent, sustained, and in some cases intense and dense and tough as nails, and tough as hell sometimes to get here, but we are. Now, this financing has taken a year to close, and this is that day, folks, at least for the government supported or government-backed capital component. The private sector components are coming in and still to be closed. And that includes pure money and also political-oriented sponsorships that can find a campaign candidate before their FEC formalized, which I'm about to become again after the last registration expired roughly 2 years ago and was left unrenewed for the purpose of closing this last effort of my private sector career after 35 years as a CEO of advanced technology companies and a successful financial expert, fundraiser-in-chief for every single one of those days for 3.5 decades. I assure you, my brothers and sisters, in the party of my family, my mother and my father ultimately, and me at my core, I am a new Democrat, an independent-minded Democrat, with ideas that will help bring us across the aisle new entrants into the progressive values that are at the core of the Democratic Party. I share those values, both socially and economically, and am a very strong capitalist, no less. And I will assure to you that there will never be a president in history, even in then dated dollars, that will exceed the fundraising prowess that I will bring to this party as its next leader. I trust and hope you will endorse and approve me as such. I will run circles around what Donald Trump forecast or projected or led the American people to believe he is actually financially worth. But anyone who's done their homework on that man knows that the bulk of his money is lent, otherwise borrowed and stolen, and relatively dirty as it stands. And he's admired for his fundraising skill. I will run circles around anybody who wishes to challenge me in the skill of fundraising. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, my comrades, and my compatriots here, let's get this great campaign on the road. And I volunteer myself to be of service to the party from the get-go and to the White House and I know you understand what I mean. My President, Joseph Biden, I trust will see this message. My friend, I cannot wait to meet you and your remarkable family, your lovely wife, skilled as she is in so many fields that I also enjoy so deeply. Your children who have been through a lot, who have lost some family members, as have I, sir. I look forward to meeting each of them as a part of our meetings ahead. So please, my colleagues and friends, understand that I am excited as I can possibly be to get to Washington, D.C. for this long-awaited next trip after I don't know how many dozens to that great capital city of ours. I wanted to make this message made available through multiple channels to make sure it gets to the right people in the Democratic Party's leadership and all the way to the top. I stand ready to serve, and I have made an internal announcement, which you no doubt have heard of, that I will complete my filing, hopefully in the next 72 operating hours with the FEC. And during that period, I'm simply bringing to a conclusion and a definitive conclusion of both what I call the initial public service offering, an IPSO, a good acronym. If there ever was one, look it up. But over the past year, I have become familiar with the vagaries of the kind of sponsorship money and how it works, and the manner in which it is delivered and paid for in tax-reduced money and such. The most important component is the ManyOne Enterprise Bank, or ManyOne Bank, and that as a formal bank with the Federal Reserve System itself, and the establishment of cash on deposit to operate as a lever arm to create money in the proper and legal way, have it Treasury certified and taxed properly, and insured comprehensively is what we've been concentrating on for the last 6 months, unbeknownst to most. And the proceeds of that are the seed catalyst for closing what I think will be, when the private sector sponsorship money comes in over the next few days on autopilot, and as created by the Federal Reserve with Treasury authorization, establish perhaps the largest fundraising event in American history to date. I'm quite certain, in fact I'm absolutely certain, that the Democratic Party will find in Joe Firmage the finest and most capable fundraiser in its history, even adjusted for prior year dollars, however far you want to go back. I assure you, I am really good at that, and in every scale, from mass communications, donations, generation, and how to mobilize people and speak on the stump with passion and grace and great humor, as is often necessary and helpful in all cases, to great intelligence in how I communicate and how I can customize messages to particular target audiences in general, and as specialized as down to a one-on-one dinner with a VIP who needs the kind of personal advanced knowledge and understanding of where they're coming from in life, in their personal life, and to the extent that's part of conversation, which often is when we're talking about substantial people and substantial money. I aim to rebuild the Democratic Party. We all know it needs to be, and we need to pull in the independents and the wise Republicans into a coalition style of governance at the White House level. I was going to run as an independent. I've chosen to run as a Democrat, but I need your support, and we need it now, okay? I want to get to D.C. tonight, this night, and we are long overdue. I frankly wanted to be there before the midterms to save the House before we lost it, but trust me, we'll get it back in a sweep in 2024 that'll make Ronald Reagan's look like just barely won it before the bell, folks. I take fundraising very seriously, so forgive my seriousness in this, but I wanted to communicate how much I have wanted to be there for months, and there are some agents out there who could have made it easier for me to get there in the appropriate way. Some of the agents could have made it easier for sure by better projecting and meeting their projections as given of how much deposit money or fee money would be required to obtain what they're carrying in my direction, with my intended gratitude in each case. And I don't therefore want to to mention any names, but basically, I can use the help I can get to just get over this last little step of a few $100 or whatever, because my money is coming in now, and will weekly for the next 10 weeks on autopilot, so that I can blind trust it from the get-go this weekend. And from that point forward, my 35-year career as a CEO of high regard, of great intellect, and great heart, and deep commitment to our shared values is all yours, your servant, forever. I ask you to adopt me as the party leader. You know what that means, my friends. Now, I want to thank everybody who has believed in me. You have believed in the right person for the right reason, for the right mission at the right time. I so strongly believe that I'm fit and needed as the next president of our great nation. And this president will be impacting the world in ways that will never be forgotten, and it better be in a great way, a good way to maintain the international rules-based international order. For goodness sake, developed at such great cost since the Renaissance. And now the second Renaissance can start with this coming election and this very day, as I leave the private sector forever. And I devote myself to you and to all of us as citizens of the great United States of America. I love you all, and I can't wait to see you. I should have been there some time ago, but the money I've closed took this long to close, and now come in on autopilot so I can blind trust it this weekend and move forward with my new life with you. I thank you, my fellow citizens, my brothers and sisters in this great Democratic Party, and those others who listen, who are also Republicans, who are also independent, or as I like to say it, we are all Democratic Republican independents. And I will stand by that, because I believe I can get anyone and everyone's vote if they examine me carefully, and they'll have the opportunity to on so many stump speeches to come, and all of the town halls that I just can't wait to engage in. I can't wait to polish the debate room floors with Trump's hairdo. If he makes it that far, I'll flatten it, or I'll just ignore him, one of the two. I'll choose in the context, of course. Thank you all. Now, let's get on with this great plan, and may the second Renaissance be yours. May God bless you, your family, and may God bless the United States of America.